The morning began like any other, though deep down, I could sense a heaviness lingering in the house. Our family had been through so much in the past year, and while on the surface things appeared normal, the silence spoke volumes. Mom's footsteps were rushed as she moved through the kitchen, preparing a quick breakfast before her double shift at the hospital. Dad had already left an hour earlier for his job at the factory. I carried the weight of schoolwork and my part-time job, while my younger brother Ethan, who was 16, seemed to be drifting further and further into his own world. I stepped into the shower, letting the warm water wash over me, hoping it could melt away some of the stress that clung to my chest. The steam filled the bathroom, fogging up the mirror. My thoughts wandered, replaying the arguments I had overheard between Mom and Dad the night before about money. Everything in our house felt tense, like a string pulled too tightly and ready to snap. I closed my eyes, rinsing my hair, when suddenly the bathroom door creaked open. At first, I thought it was just the loose latch again. But then through the steam, I heard footsteps, slow, hesitant, almost apologetic. My heart skipped, and I gripped the shower curtain. "Ethan," I called out, startled. There was silence at first, then a soft, fragile voice. "I'm sorry. I didn't know you were in here. I just needed to talk to someone." His tone stopped me cold. It wasn't just embarrassment from walking in at the wrong time. There was something in his voice, something broken, something that hinted at a pain he couldn't contain anymore. "Ethan, wait outside," I said gently. "I'll be right out." I finished as quickly as I could, wrapped myself in a towel, and opened the door. He was sitting on the floor in the hallway, his back against the wall, his head buried in his hands. His shoulders shook with the quiet tremors of suppressed sobs. Seeing him like that shattered me. I knelt down beside him. "Hey," I whispered. "What's going on?" He lifted his head, his eyes red and puffy. "I feel like I'm disappearing, Emma. Like nobody notices me anymore. Mom and Dad are too busy. You've got your own life. I'm just there. Invisible." The words pierced me. I realized how blind I had been, too consumed with my own stress to notice how much he was hurting. "You're not invisible," I said firmly, reaching for his hand. "You're my brother. You matter. I'm sorry I haven't shown it, but I see you, Ethan. I always will." His lips trembled as he tried to hold himself together. "Then why does it feel like I could walk away and nothing would change?" Tears filled my eyes. I pulled him into my arms, his head resting against my shoulder like he used to when we were little. "Because people get caught up in their storms," I whispered. "But that doesn't mean they don't love you. If you weren't here, everything would change." I'd notice every single day. That was the beginning of a conversation that stretched far beyond that morning. In the weeks that followed, I made a conscious effort to spend more time with Ethan. We started having small late-night talks in the kitchen while eating cereal or watching movies together without our phones in hand. At first, he was reserved, answering with short words, but slowly, he opened up. He told me how he felt forgotten, how at school he struggled with grades, how he felt pressure to live up to expectations he couldn't meet. "I'm not you, Emma," he confessed one night. "You're smart, responsible, hardworking. Mom and Dad are proud of you. I feel like I'll never measure up." I grabbed his hand across the table. "Ethan, you don't have to be me. You're you. That's enough. You have gifts I don't, your art, your humor, the way you care so deeply about people. That's what makes you special." For the first time in weeks, he smiled, a small, timid smile, but it was there. Still, things at home weren't easy. Mom came home exhausted. Dad spent more time at work than at the dinner table, and the tension about money never went away. Ethan and I often sat together silently at dinner, watching as our parents argued over bills or fell into silence out of sheer exhaustion. One night, after another argument between Mom and Dad, Ethan whispered to me, "See, they don't even see us anymore." I squeezed his shoulder. "They're struggling, Ethan, but they love us. We just need to remind them." So we made a plan. Together, we cooked dinner one Friday night, something simple, pasta with garlic bread. We set the table, lit candles, and when Mom and Dad came home, they were surprised. "What's all this?" Dad asked, setting down his briefcase. Ethan shrugged shyly. We thought you needed a break. For the first time in weeks, our family sat down and ate together without raised voices or silence. Mom even smiled through her tiredness. It was a small step, but it mattered. Despite these small victories, I could tell Ethan still carried a heavy burden. One evening, while we sat in the backyard staring at the stars, he finally told me what he had been hiding. I've been thinking about leaving, he admitted, his voice breaking. Not just this house, but leaving everything. Like, what's the point of being here if I don't matter? My heart froze. Tears welled in my eyes as I grabbed his hands tightly. Don't ever say that. You matter, Ethan. To me, to this family, to everyone who loves you. You're not alone, even if it feels like it. Promise me you'll hold on. He broke down, sobbing against me. I don't know how. I held him as tightly as I could. Then we'll figure it out together. You're not fighting this alone anymore. From that moment, I made it my mission to make sure Ethan never felt invisible again. We talked openly, shared laughs, cried when we needed to, and reminded each other that even in the chaos of life, love holds us together. I also convinced Mom and Dad to really sit down with Ethan to listen to him. At first, they were shocked by how much he had been bottling up. There were tears, apologies, and promises. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. Over the months, I watched Ethan begin to come alive again. He joined a small art club at school, and I attended one of his showcases. I clapped louder than anyone when his paintings were displayed. His confidence grew in small but meaningful ways, and he began to believe that he wasn't invisible after all. Months later, I would look back at that morning, the moment my brother walked into the bathroom while I was in the shower, as the unexpected beginning of everything changing. It was awkward, strange, and unplanned, but it opened the door for a conversation that saved him from slipping away and reminded me how easy it is to miss the quiet cries for help from the people closest to us. That day became a reminder that sometimes life's interruptions aren't accidents at all. Sometimes they are the very moments that give us the chance to save someone we love. And whenever I see Ethan now laughing with friends, sketchbook in hand, I remember that morning and thank God for it. Because if he hadn't walked into that room, if he hadn't whispered those words through the steam, I might have missed the chance to be there when he needed me most.